Hello and welcome back to my podcast, Here to Grow with Hunny. I am your host, Hunny, and together we can stay up, stay blessed, and stay encouraged. I'm excited about my returning listeners. You know, today's episode is going to be fun. I'm going to let you into my mindset and my personal space about what's been going on with me this past week. And so to take you on a journey of my mind, I want you to know that I had to give myself permission to separate myself from community, separate myself from strength, because I learned that this week that I was vulnerable and I had a lot of moments where I was weak and I just wanted to go back and live in my strengths. But just because I wanted something, what I needed to do is to turn my attention to, what was making me angry and what had me frustrated. And those things kept tugging at my heart and requiring me to get to a place of stillness. And so when I have to get to a place of stillness, it's because I want to be heard. And I would like for me to be a first responder and not project that I'm okay when I'm not. And that can be hard for me because I live in a version of woman that's high functioning. And it takes a moment for me to know when I'm at a cycle of dysfunction. And when I hit a wall, I know that I need to recharge by, closing out the sounds and the noises of others. And so I'll silence my social media intake. I will only allow those within close proximity to speak with me and to pour into me. And I have to find a way to let them in on the matters of the heart, which is all new for me because I'm only used to taking those things to my Heavenly Father. But it's also good to hear perspectives from your sisters and see how they're processing with similar circumstances. So today's episode, we're talking about For He Heard My Voice. And so I lived a long time being voiceless, and how I got there is because my voice, it was unknown because people didn't make space for me to be safe and secure with truth. And so I spent a lot of time being a truth teller, trying to find myself around the map of my mind. And I was taking a journey of my mind, and the way that I process things, I couldn't find someone with a common mindset, a growth mindset. So I would turn off my emotional regulation because I didn't see people that was regulated. I saw a lot of people having these outward responses that was just allowing them to lose themselves. And I don't like to lose myself. And so whenever I'm in a position of knowing that I have an emotion pressing down on my mentality, I have to pump the brakes. And when I pump the brakes, I really don't know what to do at first. So I don't know if there's anyone out there on the other side of this that you may be watching or you might be listening, and you may not have a safe place in your community. And you're a person that a lot of people may not know when you're not okay, because they're banking on you being okay, because they can think that when you are expressing yourself and you're being vulnerable, they may think that you might spiral out of control, which you won't, because you have enough self-care, self-awareness, and you're just having a conversation with people around you. It's just that when you share your anger and your frustration, it's just an unlikely thing to do. And so those around me, they normally have a history of aggression more than I do. And so when I do want to share that, hey, this may not be a good time for me, and when I share it, it may not be what someone may consider a low, because it may not compare to what they have going on. But again, I still need to express myself, because again, when you're high functioning, a lot of things that are weight, you deal with them in a way that you can make life seem like it's less complicated than what it is. But that also creates a wear and tear on you, because when you're the emotional regulated person, you're regulating everything around you. And that social emotional regulation is taxing on a body. And then you add on to that my anointing and my grace. And I'm around people who are truly falling apart, and they don't know what to do. And so I'm an empath, and I have to take a step back from empathy, especially when I need myself, because there is no one to hear me when everyone else is falling apart. So today I went to church, and I heard a man from the pulpit, and he was just talking about his testimony of him experiencing a low moment mentally when things were happening with his mother. And I was able to connect with him, because even though he was referencing something that happened years ago, it allowed me to tap into when I had experienced moments of depression and anxiety, and I never really give myself credit for overcoming those things, because I had to overcome, because there was a need of me, and I needed to be present to raise my kids and to become this woman that I am today. But when I heard the gentleman speak of it, I'm like, that's a lot of work. That was a lot of pressing. That was a lot of pruning that happened. So when I get to a moment like this present week where I'm experiencing a lot of things out of my control, with my car, with a loved one, and also with some of my social interactions, I'm experiencing a lot of community. And so I feel like I'm just exposed on every end. I'm trusting myself to community build. I'm trusting myself to let go of control with a particular loved one and allow them to find their way and navigate that when I've been their navigation system for a great part of their life. And I'm also learning how to be fragile with people I've selected in my life. All of that is a lot to wrap my head around. But I do this by allowing myself to be consistent with therapy. I'm consistent with prayer. I'm consistently in my word, and I'm consistently connecting with those chosen individuals, even when it's hard for me to do that. And so on today's episode, I just want you to know that in my finding me, I take moments to pause. I take moments to be self-reflective and say, am I okay? I am becoming okay with, truly losing control, because I've truly lived a life isolated, and that isolation worked for me. That solitude worked for me in that season. But now I'm in a new season where I'm asked to share myself more. I'm asked to be more present. And in that presenthood, I've never had to give much and worry less. So all of this is new. And so to be a cycle breaker, a chain breaker, all of this is new. So this woman that I've arrived to, it's hard to like pull me down and fully understand my woman. And why am I so transparent? Why do I love people the way that I love people when I hardly ever receive that kind of love for me? But when I pour out my love for people, people come to be loved on. But truly, I wanted you to love on me when I was neglected and abandoned. But when I became healthy, all of these opportunities and things are bubbling up. And now it's kind of hard to receive it because I'm used to living in the shadows with one, God. So if you are like me and you're on the other side of this, and what comes natural for other people, which is social engagement, I hate to be the one to say, I want you to do something that's hard for you. Before I ask you to do that, I will ask you to check in with yourself. Check in with your body. Check in with your soul, your emotions, because I don't think people truly know what we're asking people to do when we're asking people to be open-minded. I don't think people are safe enough for me to really present myself to them, because when I'm with myself, I take quality care of myself, right? I don't abandon myself, right? I don't deal with rejection. I'm not withholding love. I'm not withholding affirmation. And so I'm not jealous of my inner child being more brave than my current state of woman. I just receive all of my woman with a gentle manner because I want to be a gentle woman. And so when I'm coming into communities and I'm opening myself to people, some people don't know how chaotic they are and how noisy they are. And when it's time for me to release something or someone that I trust and I've been entrusted to hold dearly to my heart, that means I care for this person how I care for myself. And I'm asked to break free from this person. And that's all I know, is to carry this person in a safe place of my heart. In the midst of that, because my leader is growing up and leveling up, I have to be in community with other leaders and, follow their leadership style and not lose myself and my integrity in the midst of it all. And I have to have these daily check-ins with myself and say, honey, how are you? How are you? How are you with these new relationships? And it is well for me, but I'm having a lot of interruptions with these random things happening in my life, and I'm having to keep the faith. And faith isn't easy. Hope isn't easy. This love that I speak of isn't easy. This woman that I've become isn't easy to be this woman. So when you're listening to this and you're plugged in, again, I tell you, I'm not entertainment. I am a real deal, authentic woman who was called, who's been chosen, and I've been selected by happenstance. I'm trusted to do exactly what I'm doing right now, is being myself, being organic, and letting you know that this is not easy. I've leveled up, right? And I didn't submit my resume to level up in the kingdom. I didn't submit my resume to go from faith to glory to glory. And yet, here I am. Right? I didn't send you a friend request, and yet here you are. Isn't that wild? That a young lady who was a wayward woman, who was depressed, anxious filled, decided to be decided about her growth, and was decided to trust in the woman that I am. It has landed me here. All these things that's happening around me, this was not my intention. My intention was not to be a leader for you. My intention was not to be the role model. My intention was not to attract more eyes. My intentions were to be enough for myself. And in that, people are attracted to genuineness. Because in my genuineness, there's this generosity that people can't find on earth. And so I get to live in this heaven bliss on earth. So despite all of the trials and tribulations, it is well for me. And I believe that it's well for me is because of how I treat myself and how I treat others. Right? And so if you're someone like me and you are a person and it's kind of hard for you to find your people, and you're like, I'm going to be constantly being a giver, and I'm not going to have people around me who can receive me. I just want you to know that that you will find those who are for you, but they won't come until you survive the fiery furnace. And I know that's unfair. And I know that's not what you want to hear, but I'm going to tell you this. You only want people to be a part of your everlasting to everlasting. You want those who've also been in a fiery furnace and don't smell like smoke. Where life is hard for them and life is throwing them a curveball, but they still have a language on their tongue that ministers to you to keep going. And so even in me saying that I may not have much to offer in this moment, I'm still bringing you a love offering because I've gone through the fiery furnace and I don't smell like smoke. So even when I'm not at my best, I can rest assured in the character development that I've gone through that is healthy enough that I won't lead you astray because I'm stirred up from good fruit. Okay? And so if you are in a place where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you feel like you're not heard, and you feel like when you go into these communities, you're overlooked, and rightfully so, you're overlooked because people are burdened and they have been met with enablers, and they've never had to deal with their own mess. That's why people don't address you with care and kindness. It's because the people who are able to get the attention of the life givers, they suck them dry, and they use the life givers up for all of their investments. And then now all you have left that can hear what you have going on is life suckers. And they have nothing to offer you, because the life givers, they go back to their place of solitude to replenish. So on this Here to Grow with Hunny platform, we're just kicking it. I want you to really get to know me. I don't want to just be known for a set thing of feeding you this richness and of like this high quality of thought. I want you to be with me in agony, right? Because you're benefiting off of me. I'm not getting paid off off of your benefit, but I'm still giving you the benefit of the doubt, because I know what I needed to see on the other side of this. And I needed it to break up some of this falsehood, the false narratives of projecting what we think people want to see. No, we don't want to see you live a lie. We don't want you to lie about having it all together, right? You know, I've been loving a father who's loving me unconditionally. So I, too, am stepping into unconditional love. I don't know if it has happened or is happening, but what has happened is I care to love people around me with such quality that they can't escape the love. Right? So even when insecurities come up, they can't leave me, because I've created this scent of love that when they're frustrated, when they're out of control, when fear comes, they know that they could follow the scent back to love, and they could come back to the safe place. And in me being that safe place, in that circle, and the people that I have around me, they are people that hear me. Right? So I'm spending my time resting in some people that have the capacity for me. Okay? Now, say if you don't have people around you yet who have the capacity for you, okay? Here's something I would like you to do, okay? I would like you to become the friend that you would like to attract. So that means you're going to have to say no to certain individuals. You're going to have to say no to some networking opportunities. You're going to have to say no to things that don't serve you well, because you only attract your own standard. And when you start letting things go, it becomes easier for you to let go of relationships, facilities and workplaces, because you know who you are. And when you do that, there's a gift waiting on the other side for you that says, well done, because you followed your intuition. So what I do is when I fail to hear me the first time, I slow down. I slow down and say, honey, you're not being kind to Hunny. You're not being kind to Hunny right now. You're not checking in with your body. You're not acknowledging the tension, in your neck and your shoulders. And you're not acknowledging the weight of the moment. And so I go and give myself a compliment or a few compliments, and I say, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for taking care of these children on your own. I appreciate you paying your bills. I appreciate you not falling apart when you had back-to-back instances happen with your car. I appreciate you for opening your heart to receive community. I appreciate you for taking the steps for mental health. I appreciate you for, just being a standard. And when I start just saying the things I appreciate about myself, I'm like, I am a darn good person, right? And I'm just having a moment where life stinks a little bit. And I just love everything around me so much that I appreciate my car. So it injures me when my car is hurt. I appreciate my loved one that I have to release, so my heart is hurting. I appreciate the friends that I have, but when you bring in new people, you also understand that you were grieving old people that had to leave. So I'm so present in life that I'm just receiving and healing from all of the things that are here to repair me, to restore me. But I also have to dump out some of the emotions on the other side of all those things that will bring me more to, attract me closer to my woman. And in my closeness, I bring you closer because I don't want you to be afraid of yourself. I don't want you to be afraid of your anger. I don't want you to be afraid of your frustration. I just want you to bring it close to you, right? And I want you to get to a place where you can invite people into that privacy, because I tried to do it alone. And I believe that's where I face depression and anxiousness. But when I come and I tell someone, hey, I'm dealing with this, and they can stand in it with me, I'm grateful because I've only known my 2 feet. And so I'm able to be the difference. So this Sunday, I want you to look over Psalm 116, where it says, I love the Lord, for he heard my voice. He heard my cry for mercy. Because he turned his ear to me, I will call on him as long as I live. Now, even though I say I call on the Lord, even though he heard me, that doesn't mean that I was absent of disappointment, that I was absent of setbacks. It just means I was heard. And I promise you that once you're heard, it changes everything. Okay? So continue to tap into this. But I want this to be a place where we can fall apart and come together. We can be gracefully broken and then be transformed by the renewal of our minds and have clean hearts. Can we have a clean heart and clean hands? This is what this podcast is about. And I want to thank those that have taken the opportunity to join me live on this. If there's a subject matter that you would like for me to discuss, don't hesitate to allow yourself to drop it down below. I love the engagements. I love the interactions. And you're watching me for a reason. And I want you to receive what you need, because I'm sharing what works for me. And I don't want to miss an opportunity to see about you. And so if you're new to this, I am God's Queen Lady Hunny. I'm one of the Kingdom Ambassadors. I have a great time sharing my life, and this is just a new chapter of my life, and you get to see me actualize in real time. And so I'm happy for you. And in closing, I do like to freestyle, so prepare yourself. Prepare yourself, and you can watch this back. If you're listening to this, listen, I want you to come to my social media. You could go to my Facebook page, Patrice Hunny, Hunny, Carol. You can watch the live recording there, and then after 30 days, I'll transfer that, not I, my executive assistant will put this on YouTube, on my YouTube page called Believe Hunny with 2 E's. And then, and I spell Hunny, Hunny. And yeah, that's what's happening with me. Now check out this freestyle. Let's hope it's good. Hold on. And let's thank the Holy Spirit for making room for me to be vulnerable, because we almost not had a podcast today. So let's see. Don't you like it when don't you like it when I never switch up? I make it look easy when I'm talking about the mindset. But I guess it had a lot to do with those setbacks. They got me all vulnerable and I'm all exposed before you. But I be a show that be a light show, and you might try to romanticize this, but I'm not the average. You can't find me. I'm so unique with it. Listen, if you ever get time with me, I will set your soul free. I don't be an idle mind, because I know with an idle mind and idle time, I'll be unstable in all things. But I like to have a vision. Did you know that you're getting the opportunity to stand with the highest queen? And I come before you just to be meek, because I know that we all can't grab a hold of a shooting star. So I had to be a falling star so that you could dare to reach above your average. I be a new ecosystem, breaking down all of the systems of dysfunction and creating a new path. I be the trailblazer that's moving all of the fear over, and so that I can outlast the things that were terrorizing me. And you should know that that I'm going to be the one that outshine all of the demonic beings, because life is freeing on this side. You should know it. And who am I? I am queen, lady, honey. I'm living my best life, and I'm just taking the pressure off of life so that I can be a sight to see. Thank you for tuning in. It's Queen Lady Hunny, and this is the Here to Grow with Hunny podcast. As always, stay up, stay blessed, stay encouraged. Until next time.